Jazz, the slow sounds. Hello and welcome to Conversational Pressure with Ab and D.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. It's been a couple weeks since we've went live, but we're back.
Yes, we are.
In the previous weeks, we had discussed personal values and life goals, which are things that we ourselves hold near and dear to our hearts. We've been through some things where we had to identify certain parts of our lives in order to figure out what we wanted to do with our lives. And the most important part was determining our personal values and how they align with our life goals. So in the previous weeks, we discussed personal values and gave specific examples. We went into depth on how your principles influence your behavior, your personality traits, and they guide you through your decision making. They also guide you in building relationships, which is very important. We also went into how those values can be learned by people around you or learned through personal growth. So today, we're going to start with identifying those life goals and developing an action plan. So in the previous weeks, we kind of did identify, but now we're going to talk about how to apply them and make them work in your life. And how they have worked for us.
Exactly.
As we have discussed before, we come from a place of personal growth along with education. We are both life coaches, so like I said, this is something near and dear to us, and when it comes to helping people grow. Before we jump into that, I'm always ready just to dive right in, but it's been a couple weeks, so how have you been?
I've been good. Life has been lifing, and not to jump ahead, but you know, your personal values help you when life is lifing, you know. But overall, I'm still here. I'm still able. There's still an opportunity to grow, to change, you know. So I won't complain.
Okay.
But yeah, life has been lifing. How about you?
It's been good. Nothing major. I mean, no, that's not true. It has been some major things going on. Baby girl decided what college she wants to go to. I had a bit of a health scare, nothing major, but something. But overall, life is good.
Good.
What's important is,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, other than that, I'm here. We here today.
And I celebrated another year of living.
That's right.
My birthday.
Yes.
And so thankful and grateful to still be here on this side of life.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And able to share our knowledge.
Yes.
And plethora.
Absolutely.
So to start off, when building this action plan, there are a couple things that we feel like should be included. Of course, this is in no particular order. We have them in an order, but sometimes things don't happen in a particular order. But these are just things that we feel like you should try to determine and apply. We did discuss the first three on the last episode, which was developing a positive mindset, overcoming self-doubt, and building self-confidence. So I kind of want to go back, and if we could recap those, and then we can continue into the rest of them.
Okay.
Developing a positive mindset. So sometimes easier said than done.
It's absolutely easier said than done, especially when your experiences have shown you different, you know. Or there have been times when you had a positive mindset about something and then it didn't happen that way. But what happens when you develop a positive mindset about something, you're more inclined to chase after it. You're more inclined to maneuver if it doesn't go exactly how you planned it to go. So if I have I mean, just anything that we may try and do. So if I know and things around me are going to the left and I needed to go to the right, a lot of times your mindset about the situation is half the battle. So if you're looking at it in a negative sense, then chances is it's going to be a negative outcome.
And
so
you'll be willing to give up.
Exactly. So when you change your perspective and change your thought about something, it's something as easy as a glass is half filled, half empty, and I use that because everybody's heard that. So if you're looking at it as though you're losing something or that it's almost gone instead of you're getting more and you're almost, you're on your way to be filled, then you're gonna,
Yeah. And I smiled because I actually was having a conversation with Miss Bonnie yesterday.
Okay.
And we were talking about that, and she was saying how she's a glass half empty kind of person.
Okay.
And she was like, and you're such a glass half full. And I was like, yeah. But she was like, one time she was talking to somebody and the guy said, well, how about I'm gonna just drink the glass of water? And I was like, that's a different perspective though. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna take what I got and do what I need to do with what I have. And I'm like, I never even, you always hear the glass half full and the glass half empty. And he was just like, I don't care which one it is. I'm just gonna drink it. I need the water.
Exactly. And it's true. I've never heard of it that way either. I never heard it that way either. Excuse me. Just instead of you thinking of, okay, it's almost gone. It's halfway gone. I still have half left. I need to make the best out of what I have. So positive. Is mindset. It's just like it's just essential. It's essential for you to grow, maturity, all that. And I think as you mature, and maturity doesn't have an age on it, but as you mature in life, your mindset about things should change a whole lot more. You find that silver lining.
And when you have a positive mindset, I feel like you're more bound to not give up. Like I said, when you have a negative mindset, you tend to, when it doesn't work, because you already thought it wasn't going to work, it's just like, I knew it wasn't going to work, so then you don't try anymore. But when you have that mindset, you say, when you have a positive mindset, you say, okay, this didn't work, what can I do different?
Exactly.
And then you may try it again. So I definitely think that is probably one of the most important factors in personal growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking positive about yourself, which is sometimes not all that easy.
No. When
you may have been heard that you ain't shit all your life,
absolutely.
So it's definitely work.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we all even start out that way. I definitely do feel like it can be it's a learned behavior. Because I did luckily be brought up by a man that instilled that in me. Like, my father was very, like, we've talked about this before, nobody never said you couldn't do it, but nobody never said you could. And that makes a difference, where I did have someone that said, like, you can do anything. And meant it. Like, he wasn't just telling me that. Like, my father, when he said that, he meant that. Like, don't you come in here talking about you can't do something. If you can't, that's on you. It's nobody else's fault. So I definitely think it's a learned behavior. And we have to start instilling that more in our children when they're young. And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because then, and I don't care if people, it's okay to think highly of yourself. Now, I'm not saying you got to think you're better than other people, but it's okay to think highly of yourself. Absolutely. Because I think highly of me don't mean I think I'm better than you.
Exactly.
And that's where I think people get it.
Yeah. When you said that about the kids, like, I had the conversation with one of my older girls, and you get stressed out. You're an adult, but you're still a young adult. You're still learning things about yourself, and she was in a stressful situation, and she was just like, I can't do this. I got very upset with her because I'm like, you can do anything. I've never told her that she couldn't do anything. Anything that she came to me or shared with me that she wanted to do, I've always been there to encourage her. So yes, it makes a great difference when you have somebody there telling you, yes, you can do anything you want to do, but you also have to believe that.
Yeah, you have to believe it. Yep.
It helps that those people that you care about, that you trust, that are there to support you. But it's also a mindset shift for yourself, you know.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, in that situation, she just throwing the towel in. And I was just like, yeah, well, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And that's why it's also important in your mindset, you know, having a good positive mindset, you need to have those people around you that share the same type of thought process, right?
Yes.
So if you're around negative people who's negative Nancy, can't nothing go right, nothing not going to go right, you ain't going to be no better than me or your daddy or your mama, then chances are you have somebody continuously speaking that into your life and speaking that over you, and you're basically receiving it. Chances are that's what's gonna transpire in your life. You know, your mindset is always going to be negative. And I mean, you could be around people and you can feel the negativity.
Yeah.
You can feel it. And I'm just like, geez, like, you know, let me brush this off, because no, you're not gonna manifest that in my life.
And the thing is, we all say it, don't spray it. We all have our moments where something may happen and we feel like, okay, I need to get this off my chest. Okay. But then to just continue and keep on going and keep on going and keep on going, I can't operate in that. And part of me is I am a solution-based type person. So that gets me in trouble a lot of times.
I'm sorry for laughing.
But I know it gets me in trouble a lot of times because I think I can fix anything. Blame Paul Ramsey. I think that I can fix anything. And people do not always want something fixed. Yeah.
Or every solution you give them, they have a problem for it.
Yeah. For every problem for every solution you have a problem. Yes. Yes.
So I tend to shut down. Especially if it's personal, like okay, well, I'm gonna let you have that until you're ready to really receive what I'm saying. Yeah. But it's hard to continue to give somebody positive advice, you know, and they just like, it's dark in the room. Well, you know, if you turn the light on,
if you hit the switch,
well,
you don't understand. I'm like,
switch.
No, I do really. I promise. Just hit the switch.
Yeah, and, you know, or get a flashlight. You know, you're giving them all these different remedies for their issue, and then they don't want it. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, you don't really want a solution. You just want to
vent or complain
and stay in that space.
And see, that's, I think, where I have the issue for me, because I feel like all of this definitely goes along with that positive mindset, because I don't like to stay there. Like, I like to identify the problem and then start working on it. That's the only way I really know how to operate. Because I don't want to spend too much time on what the problem is. Yeah. How can we fix this?
We already know what the problem is. It's already been identified.
We don't need
to keep talking about it. We don't need to keep talking about it. Like when I had that hole in my tooth, I had to go get it fixed.
Right.
My fault. It got there.
Yeah.
Accountability. Fix it. Find a solution. You walk through the door. Get it done.
Yep.
And guess what? That was the past, and let it be.
But I think that comes with a lot of fear also for people. Because some people, no matter how much support you show them, they're just not going to think they can do it, or, you know, want to do it.
And sure. And so that's when positive self-talk comes in, your affirmations, really understanding who you are. And even when you do that actual self thing, you identify the positive and the things that you feel are negative about you, but you have to celebrate those positive things rather than dwell on the negative and not fix those to make them into a positive. I think that's a lot of things too, when people, like you just said, you know, you want to keep hammering in what's wrong. Look at what's right. Yes, you know, maybe you got a report card and you had 5 A's and then you had this F. You dwelling on that F.
Girl, I would never have gave a damn about that F. I can tell you now. I've been like, I don't care about none of that. Do you see these? What are you talking about?
Exactly, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that is also generated from your home life.
Yeah.
if your parents only said something to you when you did something wrong,
and no positive reinforcement.
Exactly. Then that's how you become with yourself. That's a learned behavior.
Yes.
You
beat yourself up.
Because a lot of employers are the same way.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're doing a great job, you're doing over and beyond. Okay, but as soon as you make that one mistake, it's like hello.
End of the world.
Yeah, exactly. So doing that, journaling, to create a positive, a look back. I think it's all positive, because you identifying triggers. It's healing. Sometimes you just need to write stuff out to write it down to get it out of you, and then it gives you. I remember when I was in a place, right? Maybe like 13, 14 years ago, and I wanted to make a change for myself. I needed a change in my life, and I had this book, and I was just writing out how I was feeling, the way I was in that season, the way I wanted to be. And unbeknownst to me, maybe like a couple years later, I found the book, and all the things in there that I said that I wanted to do, I had accomplished, and that was a manifestation of things. When I forgot about the list, but you are very surprised. You can be very surprised with you praying on something, writing it down, and to manifest it, how it's gonna come to be about. And I blew my own socks off. I was just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? I remember where I was at in this place, and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. So if that can happen in a situation for me, it can definitely happen for anybody else, and especially if you have it, if I had kept it up front, maybe it would have happened in 6 months rather than a couple of years,
Right.
But writing things down in your journal, and for me it's prayer, you're praying about it, and you're doing your best to get there. Like, I don't want to be unhappy. I don't want to be sad. I want to look in the mirror and love who I see. Because right now, I don't. What are those changes we need to make? So journaling gives you that history, that healing, some is therapeutic, and all that good stuff.
And like you said, when you can go back and see, this is where I was then, and this is where I am now, and all these things have come to fruition, that kind of takes us into the next thing of overcoming self-doubt. Because you may be at that point, that very point, you may be feeling down on yourself, like, about whatever, but then you look back and you like, oh, I've overcome this, and this. So then that self-doubt kind of goes away, because now you're like, okay, if I did these things, I can do these things. So that's definitely that's the next one, our actually action plan is overcoming self-doubt.
Yeah. And negative thinking.
Yeah. So keeping a positive mindset, overcoming self-doubt, they kind of go hand in hand. It's crazy because they're the same thing, but they're two different things. Self-doubt is deep for some people. And again, it goes back to, I feel like it's a learned behavior. I don't feel like we're born not to think that we're capable of doing things. I feel like if you were to tell a child from the time they are this small on up, you're capable, why would they believe otherwise?
Right.
Regardless if they go out here in the world say whatever, this has been instilled in your mind that you can, then I think that you will think that way. But we're not all raised in that. We all come from different backgrounds, which I always say that makes the biggest difference in how we act and even what our values are and what our goals are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I always say, success looks different
to everyone.
So
that's true. And this kind of the bullet points on that, we kind of went through it with journaling. We kind of set those, like giving, noticing your patterns and accepting your mistakes. And looking at them as opportunities to learn versus failures.
To build from.
Yeah, because everything you try or you attempt to be successful at and it doesn't go the way you want it to go, or some people look at it as failure, or but that's one step closer to getting it right. One step closer to accomplishing that thing that you want to do. And if we get defeated at the first time it doesn't happen, then
and I think part of that problem is we tend to, particularly right now in 2024, in this day and age, we tend to compare.
That right there is the enemy right there.
Yeah, because nobody's an individual anymore. It's, it's, what, like you just said, you watch somebody overcome so much, but you don't know what they really went through to overcome that.
Yeah.
So it's like, just get on your path and walk your path.
Because you might wouldn't have survived what they went through to get where they are.
Yep.
So be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. I mean, I know for a fact I have some friends, and they may not think much of themselves, but I think the world of them because I know what they've been through. And in my mind, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I would have made it through that. Like, I look at myself as a strong individual, but some of the things that people that I know personally have been through, I'm like, that would have crushed me. Yeah. I have friends that have lost.
Yeah.
I have friends that have lost a parent. I have friends, like, it's different things. And that's just an example, but they're still going.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I couldn't imagine.
Right.
I'm like,
I don't know how you got through this.
Yeah, like, I couldn't imagine if something happened to Corey. Yeah. I'm like, what would be the point? What at that point? What we doing?
Right.
What? And then some people, because they have, not to take away from anybody, but some people, they may lose a child, they have other children that they have to live for. Like, my baby that's my it.
Right.
That's my it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, not to take away from anyone who do have other kids or but I'm just like, it's no way that I can even fathom or wrap my mind around it.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
It is definitely one of those things.
Yeah. It doesn't lighten the blow.
Yeah. But we, like I said, I know what they've been through, and it just makes me respect them that much more. Yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, and you can still...
You tough.
Yeah. And
you may not see it, but I see it.
Yeah, and the fact that you can still smile. A genuine smile.
Right.
Or
get up out the bed and leave out the house every day.
Yeah.
That's
hard. That's hard.
But that kind of, I wasn't even really relating it to self-doubt, but that also. People, when they go through things, they tend to doubt themselves, especially because society, like, especially when you're grieving, society makes it like, you still grieving about that? Yes,
as long as I need to, and as loud as I need to.
And that's the one thing I tell the people that I love. I will never put a time limit on it. If you need to call me, then you call me. You sit on the phone and cry, and that's what we
doing.
Because
absolutely,
I don't believe that there's a time limit on it, and you shouldn't have to question yourself on whether. But I get it. I actually get it. Because it's almost like when you experience a loss, you don't. The rest of the world, other people experience it, but like, for instance, okay, when I lost my father, yes, my siblings also lost their father. But then I also look at it like, my stepmother lost her husband of a long time. So it was like, I felt more for her than I did for myself.
Yeah. Anthony, yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult process, and when you never seen yourself without, for instance, that support system. So everything that maybe she's been through, your stepmom, in the last 40 or so, how many years they were married, she never had to do certain things without him, and then it's like, I can't do this without him. Because a part of me is missing. That's that self-doubt. Well, I never had to. So I don't think I can, or something like that. But for the most part, when self-doubt, that's the killer of all dreams.
It is. Would they say nothing? Is that it? Nothing hurts a failure but a try. I don't know if that's the same. It's something
like that. I know what you mean.
And so I am very. I tried.
Yes, you will.
But then I get bored with it and be like, yeah, no, I don't want to do it. But I will try it. I'm like, listen.
Yes, I had enough of this.
I'm not living my life with regrets. That's one thing I'm not going to do. No, I'm not. And I know that everybody is not like that, though, so I don't knock people who aren't like that. But I'm that person, like, don't call me with an idea and think I'm going to be like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, well,
what we doing?
You want me to print you out some flyers?
Oh, man.
Sure.
And also, I think, for me, I can say, if you come to me with this huge book that I need to finish, I'm going to be looking at that book for months. But if you come to me with 12 books broken down, that same book broken down into 12 books, and I'm not going to be as overwhelmed. I'm going to say, I'm going to do this book first, and I'm going to do that book next. You know, you have to break things down so that it works for you. Yeah. You know, because I'm be like, yeah, I can't read this whole book in a year. I'm going to look at it and say, I can't do that, right? That's self-doubt. But when you know that, when you're become more self-aware, you understand what works for you. So that alone can eliminate a lot of self-doubt. Just putting those tactics in place, learning those skills to help you move past that fear. And then on top of that, live today for today.
Yep.
Because
tomorrow's not promised.
It's not promised, but it's a whole lot more stuff you got to do tomorrow. But look at today, what you need to accomplish for today. That's why I had this one planner. I planned my whole life in this planner.
Oh.
I did. I mean, you know how people have a schedule for work, a schedule for school. I had this one, like, it was a life planner. I scheduled out my days during the week. This is the hours that I'm going to work. This is at this time I'm going to do this. And when I tell you, I was taking tax classes, I was taking business classes, and I was in college, right? And I still had small kids. I had to plan my day out to accomplish all of this stuff because it was so much. And I was just like, what did I get myself into? What did I get myself into? And I just had to say, you know what? I had this. I know that I am a task-oriented person. So when I sat down and made a logical schedule for myself, that's what I even scheduled. This is when I'm going to eat. I had to. I'm going to take the kids a bath. They're going to get bath this time. I'm going to spend time with them on this. You know, I had to actually plan it completely out in order for me to accomplish it. So if you have to even go that far,
right?
If your mind is even wired even a little bit like mine is,
right,
that worked for me. So that all that doubt that I had, all these things I needed to do, it kind of went away because I was just focusing on the task at hand, and that task at hand was not too big for me.
Right. It shut us off. I'm like, I hate us going live.
Oh, okay.
But no, I'm the opposite. I'm like, yeah, whatever I get done in these 8 hours is what I'm getting done. I mean, once upon a time, I was that way, but at this point in life, I'm just like, I don't mind planning some things. Like, I keep a calendar, but for the most part, I'm like, I know some days Sean be like, we should go to, and I'm like, okay.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Okay. On a work day.
Right,
and I'm like, all right, I'm clocking out. Wait a minute, ain't you at work? Yeah. But, you know, it is what it is. No. That's funny. But no, I mean, it's true, though. Like, I do. Like, because I guess because tomorrow is not promised. Right. So it's just
so you're
like,
more spontaneous.
Yeah, I'm a lot more. I used to, like I said, live by a schedule, and I'm just like,
yeah. And the funny thing is, I'm saying I need to get back to that schedule because I don't accomplish things. I'm not accomplishing the things that I want to do at the rate that I want to. Not that I'm not making any progress.
Right.
I'm just not getting it done like I expect for myself. I don't know. I mean, my husband gets me. He has me more spontaneous. Come on, we're gonna do this. I'm like, yeah, we didn't plan this, and he's like, yeah, we still going. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your coat, get your shoes, and I'm just looking at him like, yeah, this wasn't a part of the plan. You know, I am a planner. I am like, write it down. Let's get this done. And he's total opposite. Like, I got it in my head. I'm like, well, if it's in your head, it ain't going too far. I need you to put it on this paper.
I'm gonna say now he needs to put it on the paper. He definitely needs to put it on the paper.
Yeah. So, but even with that, the more items that I crossed off my schedule, the more it built my confidence.
Okay, I can see that.
And which is the next topic, building self-confidence. That helped me build. I looked like, oh, I did this, I did that, and it gave you a sense of completion.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that alone helps defeat even the self-doubt. You know, you don't realize it. You can just look at this like, if I did all of this and this,
I can do anything.
I can do this. I can do that. You know, and that also goes with building your posture. How you enter into things. So if you enter into it defeated, you can come out defeated. If you enter into it optimistic and with confidence, your chances are, you know. Yeah.
Go into it thinking you can do it. I mean, I never understood why you gonna go into something thinking you can't do it. Then what you doing it for?
That don't even make sense.
It's like prayer before work.
It's dead.
I mean, really though, like,
if,
you know, why even pray for it if you're not going to do the work to get it?
So that's why I say
if you don't have faith, if you don't believe that it's going to happen, what are you praying for?
Just for nothing.
Yeah, just because.
Yeah, so if you believe it's not going to happen, if you don't believe it's going to happen,
yeah, then why even attempt? Why even waste your own time? Do something else.
For sure.
But yeah, self-confidence. That's
not arrogance.
Right.
But self-confidence.
But that's what I was going to say. It's a fine line. And it's not normally, you know, I guess because I am a person that, you know, a person, again, like I was saying about people thinking highly of themselves, that does not bother me. You know, I just hear people so many times, like, say, that person needs to humble themselves. Why? Like, who are you? Or, you know, what make you say that? Because half the time when they say it don't even apply to the situation.
It don't even make sense. Yeah, because it's nothing wrong with being humble, but you don't use it as something to dumb somebody down.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You want people to humble themselves because you feel like because they think that they the ish. That's a reflection on you. That has nothing to do with you.
At all. If you don't think you are, then who else will?
So that's what I'm saying. You want people to humble themselves because you want them, and you're in their eyes. Humble means you just supposed to be. And I'm like, well, then people would never like me.
Because
I ain't dimming my light.
Be watering your self down for nobody at all. Nope.
And I don't build myself up to make someone else feel. Now, if you feel inferior, that's a you problem.
That's a you problem. If you come into a room and you feeling small, it has nothing to do with nobody but yourself.
Yeah, because
I'm up in here.
I'm listening. I shine bright like a diamond.
If I'm at this table, then I bring value.
I deserve to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you have people we've experienced that think they're the smartest person in the room. And guess what? Kudos to them.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. And I just look at them like, you're not that smart, but okay. I mean, and nothing against it, but again, I'm not even gonna try to shine that light or make them seem dumb. I'm gonna just let them be who they are. Go for it, because you still not taking. You can't take nothing away from me.
Not at all. Absolutely agreed on that.
But that's the positive mindset. That's the having self-confidence. That's definitely having self-confidence. What you think of me does not make that me.
No, not at all.
Period. So, however a person want to paint a picture of you or want the rest of the world to. Now, I am big on, like, don't assassinate my character, because I'm going to check you. But then at that point, I know that I don't want to deal with you anymore either, because I feel like a person who knows you, they're not going to say certain things about you or do certain things to you.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And so that goes right into basically what the next topic is setting
healthy boundaries.
You have to. There are some life suckers out here.
And this is probably one of the hardest things on the list.
Yeah.
The hardest things to do. I was saying, like, developing a positive mindset is probably one of the most important, but setting healthy boundaries is probably one of the hardest to do.
Yeah, especially when you've been allowing certain things
for so long. Because the crazy part is, a person will disrespect you 1,000 times, and that 1,001 time when you say, no, I'm not going to allow this anymore, they looking at you like you're crazy, even though it was disrespect the whole time. No. See, but that's why I always say, I'd rather for a person to not even think. So, like, I know sometimes I come off a little rough around the edges. But that's because I always say, I'd rather for a person to not even try to play with me than to ever think that they can. It's certain things that I'm never going to allow. So, it's certain conversations that we're not going to have. Like, you and I will have them, but other people on the outside that I just meet and stuff like that, like, no, it's certain conversations that we're not going to have. Like, we're not going to joke about certain stuff because I don't ever want you to think that it's okay. Because then when I got to check you, now you looking at me.
Yeah. No, I'm the bad person.
Why she being so mean? No, I'm not being mean. I'm just not for none of that. So rather than us ever even having to go down that road, some things I check at the door. Like, I don't even give that impression. You know, you make a joke that I don't think is funny, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna let you know, like, what you saying I don't agree with, and I don't like it. You know, because like it's just some things I don't even find funny. I'm just using it as an example.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you have to set healthy boundaries, and that's with family, friends, strangers, co-workers, employers, whoever. You have to set certain boundaries. Perfect example, when I at my job, a young lady, it was something going on, and I told her, like, straight up, you need to go in there and say what you need to say. Well, I'm new, and I'm like, yeah, no, that never stopped me from speaking up for me. I'm off the top. I don't care if I just started here today. I need to let you know what because you might say something in response, and I'm like, oh, well, then I might as well go ahead and leave right now. Right. Why set yourself up for it? Yeah. You got to set boundaries from the door with people in general. That's just life, I feel like.
I agree.
Because we allow a lot of disrespect from people, like I said, in all different shapes, from different people, parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, co-workers, employers, like we were just saying. You can do everything right. You can do A, B, C, D, and E right. Then I do F and it's wrong. You think you can come in here and yell in my face? Yeah, no. You done lost your mind. Yep. That'll never be it. Not at all. Here's the line. Don't cross it.
That's right. For real though, like you have to, because you teach people how to treat you.
By what you allow. Yep. I tell my child that all the time. Corey is so forgiving. We were just having this conversation. She's so forgiving of people, and I'm just like, I mean, I know she has to learn with time because she's still young, but I'm like, don't let people play with you. Nope. Don't let them play with you.
I don't even think that they can do it.
Yeah. Back to what I originally said. If you don't let them think they can do it, they won't even try it.
Absolutely. And I think that I know we grew up in a different time, you know, and the things that they do these days, it's like, I would have never done, you know, like, girl, why would you even think that was okay?
That part.
You know, like, my daughter was like, one of the little girls in her class just one day was just like, so the teacher was a pedophile. Like, you don't play with people like that.
No.
Like, you don't do that. And she felt nothing wrong with it. The little girl felt nothing wrong with it. And my daughter was like, I was embarrassed and I was offended for him, for her to do that. He had did nothing wrong, and I don't know why she said it. Like, she was upset about it, you know. I was just like, you just never know what the heck is wrong with people. You know, and you playing with he's the teacher. Like, you trying to get him locked up and some more stuff. That's his whole career, you know. And there's some things you just don't do. Some things I would have never thought to do. But these days, that's what they do. And so that's what I told her. I said, so now you know.
You stay away from her.
Boundaries.
Stay away from her.
Yep. How you doing? Keep it moving. If y'all in the class, y'all got, you know, whatever. I ain't saying hate her. I ain't saying be mean to her. I'm just saying, that's one person you don't let in your inner circle. Her at arm's length. She, you know.
Yeah, and see, that's how I am. You know, I've had friends that I'm no longer friends with. I mean, we're still cordial, but it's like, showed me. exactly who you are.
And you only got to show me one time.
Yeah, that's it. And I forgive you. Still love you.
Yep. And wish you the best.
But you can't know my business.
Yep. And it'll never be the way it used to be.
No.
You know.
But you can't know what's going on with me. Just know I'm good, even if I'm bad.
Yep. And even when I have those conversations with like my 13-year-old, I'm like, even when you get in like romantic relationships with people, you still have to, you can't just like you going cut that off right there with her, you need to cut that off with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let, because it's a different type of care, that you allow a person to ever continue to do those type of things. But you have to set boundaries, or people will walk all over you every single time.
Agree.
And they don't have boundaries. They gonna keep going.
Yeah.
They don't have none for you. They have them for yourself. Like
and then
you
be
said.
mad at you for having them, though. We'll be mad at you for having them. That's the crazy part. The nerve of you to not let me treat you like crap.
Exactly.
Like, what?
Say what? You know, like I would explain, you know, if I come in the house every single day and you smack me in my face and I do nothing, and then I keep coming back, all right, the first time, that's on you. The second time, that's on me. So you keep going back. I keep coming back every day, just keep getting slapped, and I'm mad, and I'm not doing nothing about it, then, no.
But if I come back and slap you on day 6, don't look at me like I'm crazy.
Because the first slap was wrong, you know? The first slap was wrong. So that's another reason why I always taught them to keep their hands to themselves. I said, just because you come in the room and decide to push me don't mean I am not going to pick this chair up and bust you in your head.
You don't get to,
just like I wasn't bothering you. You came in and you were the aggressor, so now I'm going to do without you. Open that window up. There's nowhere in the book that says because you push me, I have to push you back.
Yeah,
no.
You don't get to determine how I respond to your disrespect.
Exactly. So.
And that's why I always, my saying is always, don't hit me for fake, because I'm going to hit you for real. So all that play fighting, keep your hands to yourself, because I'm going to hit you for real. Like, you going to be, I was just playing, and I'm going to be boom, boom, bop, right in your face. No, I'm for real. Because one thing, I don't play that at all. I tell Corey that all the time, keep your hands to yourself. Because if somebody hold off and pop you in return,
crazy.
That's on you. You shouldn't have put your hands on them.
Yeah.
Like, anybody who put their hands on someone else, you should be prepared to get hit back.
Yeah.
So, that's just
however they choose
reality. That's just real life.
Absolutely.
So,
but so setting boundaries is to protect yourself, protect your emotions, your space, your peace, to protect your joy.
and it's not always easy.
It's not.
It's probably, that's why I said, when I say that this is probably one of the hardest things on the list to do, it is one of the hardest things on the list to do, because it's normally going to be the people that you love. The person that you have to set boundaries with is normally someone close to you, someone that you can look back right now if you're listening and saying, know exactly who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, when you're thinking about it, the person that comes to mind is who you probably need to set boundaries with, and that could be your parents.
Yeah.
Because I remember, it was a post I had made that said, stop letting people tell you that just because that's your fill in the blank, that you gotta deal with it. Don't.
No, you do not.
You do not.
And to be honest, and this is probably going to be a weird thing to say, is that the most toxic relationships that we be in a lot of times is with our children.
Yeah, I was going to say the mother-child.
Yeah.
The parent-child.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
say that.
toxic. I mean, I can see sometimes my son, he's getting at that teenage, years, and he's in a weird stage. He likes to be by himself. He's awkward a little bit, and I'm just like, go in his room like, hey, he's looking at me like, I got 10 heads, like, why are you in here? And I'm like, well, what do you want? And he's like, well, I'm hungry. Well, what do you want to eat? I don't know. So I'm naming this and naming that. He's like, no. And so I feel myself like, I just won't eat. Because he wanted one thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting that, but what else do you, besides that? So now I feel myself like, well, what do you want? well, how about this? How about that? Like, no, you hungry. I ain't hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Girl.
Toxic. And then we be so happy that they, come out, hey, ma, he in a better mood the next day, and I'm just welcoming. No, you treated me like crap yesterday. You act like you didn't even know me. You barely wanted to use real words. You grunted, and I'm sitting here trying to make sure you're good. And so I'm just like, hold up. I'm not doing that with you either.
Corey gives me these one-word answers, and I'm like...
Oh, that agitate me so bad.
So do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, I can't tell, because you're sitting here looking at me like... But
So.
I contributed to it's those years.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, this is toxic.
I had to say, but no, you're right. Like, you have to set boundaries with that also, because Sean always says she manipulates me. Which is probably true. I'm not saying that to say she don't.
Right.
She is my only child, though. Sean's been through this before, so for him it's like, I've been there, done that. Yeah. This is new for me, so it is certain situations, but I'm gonna say that she manipulates both of us. But it is situations where it's like I feel bad, and then I'm like, you okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I shouldn't even be saying that, because I'm the one whose feelings was hurt.
Exactly.
But then I also understand that sometimes, like, because I have been guilty of it, where I just might have had a bad day, and she just might have been on the receiving end of it. So I know that if that happens to me, I'm sure that happens to her too. Yeah. So I do try to give her. I do believe it's all about giving people grace.
Absolutely. I can definitely agree with that.
But giving them grace also includes setting those healthy boundaries. That's like a boundary, though,
absolutely.
Too,
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's it's rough on them, just as rough as it is on us.
It is.
Yeah, they deal with a whole. It's hard for us to relate, because they deal with a whole lot more than we ever had to deal with at that age.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're exposed to a whole lot more. Everybody swear they're the best parent in the world and got the best way for you to raise your kid, and it's like,
no, it's not. You
cannot hide half of the stuff that's going. I don't care, because if you take away every electronic device, you're doing your child a disservice.
Yep.
I'm gonna say it. You're doing your child a disservice, because that is technology is the way of the world.
Exactly, and that's what it's growing more and more and more.
Yeah.
Everything.
So you can put all these parental controls that you want, but I promise you, if she don't pull it up on her own phone, she's gonna get it on her friend's phone.
Yeah. Yep, and they're gonna show. Oh my goodness, did you see that?
Yes.
Did you see that?
So that's why you have to have that type of
relationship where you can talk to them, and when they get into middle school and stuff like that, and they want to have girlfriends and boyfriends and stuff like that, it's like, you don't want them to go down that road, but at the same time,
what you gonna do?
It's nothing you can do, because they want to do it, they're going to do it. So I need to know what's going on. Yeah.
I want you to talk to me.
Exactly.
Well, and I just said that to Sean recently. I said, I always wanted to be, and again, this is a healthy boundary, I feel like. Boundaries they're not always what we just look like. But I said to him, I would rather, if something happens, her first thought is let me call mom and dad, than for it to be let me not call mom and dad,
call mommy
and then
dad,
you call somebody else. Like, no, I want her first thought. And if people call that being their friend, I don't give a damn really what you call it. But I want to be the person that my child wants to contact if she is in trouble.
Yes, because
I'm the only person that's gonna make sure that really have. I got her best interest at heart, even when she don't.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And the same thing go for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
With me being in the hospital over the weekend, my mother called me yesterday and she was like, how you feeling? Because when you sick, I'm sick. And I'm 44 years old, but she like, you still my baby.
Right, like, exactly, and that doesn't stop. That does not stop at all.
But even like we were just saying about that type of relationship, me and my mother had to get some healthy boundaries. Because it was, I'm fixing my necklace. Look like I'm over here choking myself. Like when I feel it and I feel that the clamp is in the front, it irritates me. But yeah, we had to get some healthy boundaries in order for us to have a good relationship. People have to learn to set boundaries with their friends.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, sometimes your friends, they think they can do and say certain things that they can't. It's like, yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there because you about to cross that line. Let's not do that. Because even like with us, we're married women. So when it comes to our husbands, you know, that boundary within itself, people should not cross into that. You ain't got nothing to say about my marriage.
Nothing at all. This between me, him, and God.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing to say about that. And if you do, keep it to yourself, because 9 times out of 10, whatever you saying, it ain't nothing that I told you.
Right. Exactly.
I ain't even gonna be speaking to you
exactly.
on. Yeah,
on
so
that. No, so
it might be what it looked like, but you don't know.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that inside scoop.
Yeah, no. I don't play those types of games because people don't always wish you well.
No, they don't.
Or mean well for you. You know. So yeah, setting healthy boundaries is probably one of the hardest things. I say that, but I'm looking at the next one. Shoot. But no, setting healthy boundaries is definitely one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
The next one is improving communication skills through active listening. I am guilty. I'm working on it. I am. I mean, my husband will tell you. I am.
You don't do good at active listening.
Well, you know what part of the problem is, because it goes back to me being a problem solver. And not always wanting you to solve their problems. They just want you. But who am I to tell you that you got to solve your problem?
Yeah, it's definitely your problem.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like, well, what are you telling me for if you don't want a solution to it? But sometimes people just want to vent.
They just want to vent. Yep.
And when you are a problem solver,
it's so hard.
It's difficult.
It's so hard. Because in my mind, I'm not actively listening, because while you're talking, in my mind, I'm like, all right, we're going to do this, this, and this. We're going to carry the 1. Divide that by 3. And yeah. And then you like...
Well, listen. Acknowledging that is like...
Yeah.
You know, so what tactics do you use to combat that?
I try not to say anything, because I am a type of person also, and I've been actively working on this. I know that, and I know some people look at it as being rude. I don't look at it as being rude, but some people do. Like, I interrupt people when we're talking, and I'm not trying to overtalk you, but I know if I don't get it out, I'm not going to remember what I was going to say. And so most times also I feel like that's how conversation goes. Like, you know, we go back and forth. Whereas though some people, that's not how their mind
they want to say everything how they feel.
and then it be a lot, and I'm like,
I ain't gonna remember everything.
In my mind, I'm like, all right, point 1, point 2, and then by the time we get to point 3, I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about. I think I got ADHD.
It's possibility. Because I just, when somebody's talking too much, yeah, I left the room. So I have to center myself,
right,
to make sure I stay focused. And but if it's something that I'm really engaged in, I don't have that issue, but I like to be heard out. Like, I'm going to listen to everything you have to say. I'm going to try longest. Like I said, I'm going to actively engage. And I want you to let me talk, especially if it's a disagreement. You know, I'm going to let you talk, say everything you need to say. And I'm not listening to respond. I'm listening to hear, to understand. But I'm going to have a response too, right? Some people just wait till you finish it. Blah, 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 blah. They ain't really hearing everything you got to say. Or
so I'm guilty of both things. Like, I am guilty of also listening to respond sometimes. And that, I think that depends upon
the conversation itself.
Yes. If I feel like you're trying to come for me, then yeah. And you know, because you know people will try to come for you and they act like they're not coming for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you definitely just came for me. So let me get my rebuttal together, because I'm gonna crush your feelings, and that's not always a good thing either.
However, self-awareness is it's a great tool.
Listen,
because you know what areas you can
Yeah,
try to pay
definitely.
attention and when it's happening. Show genuine interest.
Right. That's true.
Listen without interrupting.
Right.
Resist. But sometimes, for some people,
It's just not.
it ain't happening. The conversation you and I had the other day, I couldn't get a word in.
Yeah.
And so I just like, well, this is not a conversation.
Yeah.
That's doing no benefit for me. It's not conducive to where I
And
am.
see, with me, it's like, I have, I mean, when people, you know how when people, like, try to make a point, and you, like, I get your point, but it's really irrelevant to the situation. And it's like it's like going back and forth with somebody where their whole point is to try to make you feel like you stupid, like just to prove that you stupid.
Right.
So they're not really making a point because
Right.
you're like, that actually makes no sense. So now it's just an insult war. Like
Right.
now we just seeing who can insult who more, and
Exactly.
I don't.
It's no accomplishment.
I don't want to do that. So I'm like you. Then I'm just like,
Yeah, we're fussing because I'm upset because you kicked my shoe, and then you gonna come in here and talk about, well, I drank your water the other day. What?
Right.
That has nothing to do with this.
Right.
And that's two separate. It's not even the same realm.
One has nothing to do with the other, and you're like, huh?
Like, okay, yeah,
Because I feel like people who
deflect.
and people who set out to make someone else's life miserable, you have to be a miserable person.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
set out to
Intentionally do that
try
for
to
another person. For no
because they made
reason.
you, or just because they made you mad. Now it's like you got to get your get back. Like I never been a get back kind of person. Like I am a person that once you show me, I'm like, okay, I'm good on you. I might cuss you out right then and there, but that's about all you gonna get from me. Like anything after that, you're not gonna get any interaction from me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you be stupid on your own by yourself, and you gonna be like, is she there?
Nope.
Hello? Nope, because I'm not even gonna do it. It's 7:37, and we didn't even make it through the list.
Okay. Well, we can if you like, and we can
Continue next week.
continue next week.
All right,
This is a really good one next week. Imposter syndrome.
we can do a whole hour on that.
Okay.
Wow. Takeaways.
Oh, so many takeaways.
I know.
I think the ultimate takeaway would be to become more self-aware so that you know where you need to improve. That way it helps you create that execution plan.
Okay. That sounds good. I'm actually just gonna read what this says right here, and it's pretty cut to the chase. Have a clear set of personal values to help you identify your actions and initiatives. And this will promote well-being. This will promote well-being and self-respect. Personal values are important because they help you develop a sense of morality, ensures your actions are consistent with your beliefs, and aid in identifying your life goals. We thank everyone for joining in this evening.
Yes.
And we will see you all
Next Tuesday.
Yes, next Tuesday at 6:30 sharp. 6:30. We're gonna be here at 6:30.
Yes.
Our producer is in the room. Today's episode was produced by Infinite Social Solutions. They specialize in website registration, social media management, website hosting, and computer repair. You can contact John Williams, our producer, who is also the owner and IT specialist at Infinite Social Solutions, and he can be reached at 443-681-9306 or by email at info@infsolutions.com. socialsolutions.com.
Thank you and have a good night.
Good night.